Okay, here we go. Hey, everybody. Drew Murphy here, Level Up Coaching and Consulting. Hope you guys are doing well and taking care of yourselves. I'd like to welcome you back to Thursday's webinar. This is going to be put on YouTube, so I'll have the link. I'll send you the link pretty much. What I'll do is I'll put the link up on Instagram. The problem with that is that you may not be able to copy it or whatever. I don't know how that works, but I can also send it to you through a DM. I'll just send it to you through your DM for those of you that are interested in it, that signed up for it. Okay. Or if you're a member of the Level Up group on Facebook, then you can go there and click on the link there, and it'll take you directly to the YouTube channel or to my YouTube channel where you can watch the video. Now, as far as the video, these webinars are going to be up. I put them up on Thursday. So it's Thursday. Today's Thursday. I do the webinar live, and then I shoot it up on YouTube, and it's up Thursday night, obviously, and then it'll be up all day Friday, all day Saturday, and it's on Sunday at 7 p.m. It's gone, okay? Because I'm not going to keep them up forever, okay? And it's the same thing with Level Up Group. So Facebook's group, my Facebook group, Level Up Group, if you're not a member, go ahead and head on over to Facebook and join that. I also do the same thing. I call it bonus coaching sessions on the Facebook group, but it's the same thing. It's the same webinar. And before, I would put them up and just leave them up there. Okay, so the ones that are up there now, I'm not going to take them down until Sunday. But from now on Saturday, I'll put one up on Saturday. I'll do a bonus coaching session on Saturday on the Level Up group. It'll be up Saturday because it comes up Saturday at 1 o'clock. So it'll be up Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday at 1 o'clock, gone. So I'm not going to keep them up forever like I did before. Okay, so that's just a quick, a quick, information thing. And as far as, in being interested in, the coaching and everything else like that, we'll talk about that at the end of the webinar. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, thank you and welcome. Thank you for coming and checking it out. Welcome. I'm excited about this. I've been looking forward to this for a while. Like, I put this together a couple of weeks ago. But the problem was I got sick and, all that kind of stuff. So, and it was nothing serious. It was just, I thought it was my heart, but it wasn't. It was just stress. But then, the sickness, the cold that I got, it came into my joints, and I got issues with my joints anyway. So it made it worse. So I had to spend a few days in the hospital, which was actually good because I was able to rinse my mind and, deal with, some of the things I'm dealing with personally. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool. But anyway, I'm back on track with that. But I've been really, really excited and really looking forward to doing this video or doing this mindset webinar with you, because this is stuff you can use forever. Okay. And like I say, this is stuff that I use not just with my clients, but I use it with myself. You know what I'm saying? In my own personal life. Things that I've learned, through my mentors, things that I've just learned in life in general, things I've learned from studying, meditating and everything else like that. So the stuff that I know, that I've learned and acquired, the knowledge that I have acquired, I want to share it with you, okay? Because what's the use in having knowledge if you can't share it? That makes sense? So let's get started. So today's webinar, your mindset and you. So those of you that know, some of you don't, I am a personal development coach that specializes in mindset and self-worth, okay? My job is to help you shift your mindset and help you with your self-worth, okay? How you see yourself, okay? The reason that's the niche that I chose as a coach is because that's something that I know about. Right? I can't coach you in stuff that I don't know about. I'm not one of these people that's going to try to coach you and tell you, oh, buy my course and you'll be a millionaire in 3 days. No, there's no BS here. There's no trying to sell you. There's none of that. My job as a coach is to help you with your mindset and help you see yourself and love yourself better than you've done before, to help you get better at that so that you can go ahead and go towards those goals that you're going after in your life. Okay, sure, you can chase the goals in your life without loving yourself. That people do it all the time. But you're empty and something's missing. and something's not right and something's off and there's an imbalance, right? So my job is to help you balance that out. Once you love yourself and you care about yourself and you're more confident and you're more, upright and ready to go, there's a different type of motivation when you're going after your goal. I hope that makes sense. So that's why I chose that niche as far as coaching, because I've been there myself. As confident as I am, and people see me, oh, he's confident, he's this and that. I haven't always been that way either. I'm a human being too. Growing up, or you just in life in general. It took me a while to get to my confidence level as well. So I know what it's like, and I know what it feels like to not feel confident. I know what it feels like to not really love yourself, based on a whole host of things. But I also know what it's like to overcome that, and I also know what it's like to work through that and come out on the other side and be where I am today. So for me, it's personal. I'm not going to try to coach you in nothing that I don't even know anything about. So there's that. So mindset and you. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to grab a pen and a piece of paper. Okay, grab one of these and grab some of this. All right? Because you can write this stuff down. This is stuff you can use, throughout life. Here, let me back this up a little bit. Back this up a little bit so you can see me properly. And I think I'll close. There we go. So I get a little bit more professional. So you can use this stuff. You can use these things that I'm giving you, these tools I can give you. You can use them, throughout life, like I tell my clients. So write it down. We're going to go through the bullet points, and then we'll talk through the bullet points later. The way I coach is I don't just give you the tools. I show you how to use them. A lot of coaches will say, oh, this is a tool, but they won't tell you how to use it. I tell you the how, right? Because that's what I was missing when I went through my coaching with my mentors, with some of them anyway. I didn't really understand the how. So that's my style of coaching. So write this down. Mindset in you. Number one, we're going to talk about practicing self-awareness, okay? Then we're going to talk about challenging negative thoughts. Then we're going to talk about focus on gratitude. Is my computer? There we go. Focus on gratitude. That's number 3. Then we're going to talk about surround yourself with positivity. Not just positive people, positivity. Okay? Then we'll talk about practice self-compassion, which is important. We'll talk about, we may talk about mindfulness and meditation. I might just throw it in there. We'll see. But we'll talk about setting realistic goals. We'll talk about practicing physical wellness, very important. And then we'll talk about developing problem-solving skills. And then we'll talk about shifting your environment, maybe, because shifting your environment is also kind of similar to one of the other ones we had up here. But yeah, we'll see if we get to that. But one thing we will do, one of the last one we will talk about is limiting comparison syndrome, because that's important. I want to save it for last on purpose. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. So number 1, practicing self-awareness. Okay. So everybody kind of knows what self-awareness is, and your mindset is, you have to, first of all, you got to think about what type of mindset you have. Very important. For those of you that don't know mindset or anything else like that, let's talk about, before we go into the number 1, let's talk about mindset first. What type of mindset do you have? Okay. Do you have what they call a fixed mindset? Okay. Or do you have a growth mindset? Very important, the difference. A growth mindset, you go into a situation in life, whatever it is, money, music, relationships, friends, having fun, work, whatever. You go into that thought or that situation with a growth mindset, an open mindset. Going in knowing, A, I don't know everything about this situation. B, I'm willing to grow and I'm willing to learn. Because something may happen something will happen in life. You're going along life and everything is cool and everything is sweet. You know what I'm saying? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And then all of a sudden life throws you a curveball. Something happens in life. You're like, God damn it. If you have a growth mindset, you can adapt. If you have a growth mindset, you can be flexible. Okay? If you have a growth mindset, you can say, okay, let me analyze this. Let me see what happened? What can I do? You understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense? If you have a fixed mindset, you're gonna have a problem. That's all I can tell you. I feel bad for you. You're gonna have a problem because if you have a fixed mindset, you think that the world is working like this and this is how it should go, and then all of a sudden something happens, and now, why did this happen? It's not supposed to happen. I did this, and this, and why does this happen? Because it's life. Oh, I don't know. And now you've messed up and you're frazzled and you don't know how to react. And you know how to be flexible. You know how to deal. And oh my God, right? Growth mindset. I'm just saying. So practicing self-awareness is part of, building your mindset. What does that mean? Well, first of all, you recognize negative patterns, and then we'll talk about journaling your thoughts. So the tool of practicing self-awareness. When you say self-awareness, what are you talking about, Andrew? Recognize the patterns in your life, positive and negative. But we're going to focus real quick on recognizing negative patterns. That is the tool to recognize the negative pattern. How do I use that tool? Start by paying attention to your thoughts. Okay? Notice when you are engaging in negative self-talk or negative thoughts or focusing on the worst case scenario. Now, this is easier said than done. We know we're all human. Things happen in life, and then we go what they say, go on one, and then we just, we go into it and we just get negative, and you go down that negative spiral, worst case scenario. You start having what they call in Swedish katastrof for those of you that are Swedish. It happens. We're human. But what I'm saying is to use the tool of recognizing negative patterns is when that happens, think about it. Go wait. Catch yourself. I mean, it's not going to happen all the time. We're human, right? But catch yourself and say, wait a minute. Why am I having these negative thoughts? And when I'm talking about that, because I'm a self-worth coach, I'm talking about why you have these negative thoughts about yourself. It could be about the whole world and everything else that's going on, of course, but I'm focusing also more on the mindset of how you feel about yourself when you're working on yourself, working on trying to be, loving yourself and be a better person to yourself. Why am I having these negative thoughts? And don't just think about it, but analyze it. And we'll get a little bit into that later on when we talk about challenging negative thoughts. But catch yourself and stop yourself and say, hey, wait a minute. I'm going down that, negative street again. Let me stop myself and let me switch and breathe. Take a breath, meditate, whatever you have to do, and let me get back on track on some positive shit. Because this is not going to lead to anything that's going to help me get towards my goal. This is not going to lead to anything that's going to help me feel better about myself in the long run. All right? Or the situation or whatever else. Okay, so that's the first thing, is recognizing your negative patterns. And then journal your thoughts. So this is something that I tell my clients. I give them homework. When I give them the homework, I don't want them to come to me and tell me, because it's their thoughts, it's them. But what I do is I tell them, I say, okay, journal your thoughts. Write down negative thoughts when they happen. You go to bed at night, you wake up in the morning, you're walking down the street, you're driving, whatever. A negative thought will come in your head about yourself or something. You start having these negative thoughts about yourself, or you start thinking and talking bad about yourself or talking down to yourself, negative self-talk. Once you stop and catch yourself, write it down. Now, Andrew, why are we writing it down? That's ridiculous, Drew. What are we doing writing it down? Because when you write it down and then you go back and look at it later, you'll remember where you were when that happened and when you wrote it down. The reason I say write it down is because when you look at what you wrote, you will be able to identify the triggers. Okay, not just look at what you wrote and be like, oh yeah, that was stupid. But I mean, identify the triggers. What triggered me when I did that, or when I said that, or when I thought that about myself? What trigger happened? What was it that was going on? Or what? And then once you're able to identify the triggers, then you're able to identify where the thoughts come from, why they come, and whatever else. And then you're able to avoid that. You're able to stop it. You're able to catch it before it already comes. Because you see, okay, this is a trigger. So let me avoid that, because that's going to trigger me into thinking this way, and so on and so forth. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense. So you can write it down. You can send me a comment if you think that makes sense or not. So that's why I say journal your thoughts. Because it'll help. And I'm terrible at writing things down. So I'm not going to sit here and act like no hypocrite and act like I'm, a super writer down guru. No, I'm terrible at writing things down. I'm getting better, But I'm actually getting a lot better because of my when you have your own business and everything else like that, you got to start writing things down, and so I'm getting better at it. But anyway, it's a very, very good exercise that I give my clients, and it helps them rethink and reset their mind into going in the direction that they want to go in. Okay, because they go, oh shit, that happened because of that, and that made me think. Okay, it's a good exercise. So let's talk about number 2, challenging negative thoughts. Now we can get into that because that's one of the things that I have struggled with and still kind of struggle with. I'm not gonna, I'm not a perfect person. I'm not the perfect guru know-it-all. Some of these things, like I say, I use in my personal life. Of course, I use them for my clients, but I use them in my personal life as well because it works. So let's talk about negative thoughts, challenging negative thoughts. What's the tools? Question your beliefs and reframe your thoughts. There's a whole bunch of tools, but those are the couple of them that I'm going to cover in this section. Question your beliefs and reframe your thoughts. Okay, that's the tool. Question my beliefs. How do I use it? Well, ask yourself about the negative thoughts about yourself. We're talking about negative thoughts about yourself, negative self-talk. Ask yourself, how true is it? Is it evidence-based? Okay, or is it coming from a place of you're in an emotional state, you're in a negative emotional state? Is it coming from impulse? Is it coming from something that you're allowing other people from the outside? Is it coming from an outside source? Where is this negative self-talk coming from? And why are you allowing yourself to indulge in it? So that's the first thing, is where is it coming from when I say question it. The second thing you want to question is, how true is it? And there's a few others, but those are the two most important for this particular webinar. How true is it? What is the evidence of this particular thing that I'm thinking and saying about myself? You're a loser. Okay, what is that? Who said that to you? Why are you saying that to yourself? Are you saying that to yourself because someone said it to you when you were little? Are you saying it to yourself because of something that happened? Are you saying that to yourself because you really believe it? How true is it? What is it? Charge it against evidence, right? Put it up against evidence. Write it down, the negative thought, and then write down the evidence. And I bet you won't be able to find evidence of it. Most of the negative thoughts, they come from the negative self-talk and so forth. It comes from, like I said, emotionally you're not well, you have things going on, you're impulsive, you're sad, you're down, you're anxiety, you're anxious, or it could be coming from, like I said, an outside source, whatever. Most of it doesn't have any evidence to back it up whatsoever. Okay, there's no evidence, unless you're just a bad person. then that's another situation. But when you're really talking bad about yourself, and really, most of it comes from your own insecurities, your fears, and everything else like that. It's not based on reality. So then you have to check that. Right? Does that make sense? You got to check that. You're like, okay, this is me thinking out of fear. This is me thinking out of anxiety. This is me thinking out of worry. This is me thinking out of insecurity. This is me thinking out of, you know what I mean? And then you'll see, okay, that's not really what it is. Let me get back on track. So that's how you question your beliefs. That's how you use that tool. The second tool I'm going to give you is reframe your thoughts. Now, how do you use that? Instead of, I can't. Okay, it's difficult and I don't know how, but I'm going to learn. And it may take time. You know what I'm saying? Give yourself grace. Don't be so hard on yourself. I need to know this now. No, you don't know it. So that doesn't mean you can't do it. You don't know how to do it. You need to learn how to do it, and then you need to take your time and get it done. So that's one way to reframe your thoughts. Instead of thinking, the cup is half empty, always think the cup is half full. Okay? Instead of thinking, oh, I got this, and this to do. Oh my God, I can't do it all. Instead of thinking like that, think, what can I do today? What can I get done today that's going to help me get whatever needs to get done, right? Write down a priority list. Slow down, take your time, take a breath, write down a priority list, and then go after that. Instead of, Like I said, that's how you reframe your thoughts. Instead of, oh, it's this big, and oh, I got. Instead of getting all in a frenzy, write down a priority list, figure out what's important, what can I do today, and go forward. That's how you reframe your thoughts. You change it from the negative to the positive. You always turn it on its head. Right? Does that make sense? You turn it on its head. You turn it upside down. Glass is always half full. I promise you. So let's talk about one of my favorites. Focus on gratitude. So one of the things that help you with your mindset and changing, your thought process about yourself is gratitude. Gratitude journaling and celebrating small wins. So a win is a win is a win is a win. Period. I don't care how big it is. I don't care how small it is. I don't care how significant or insignificant it is. A win is a win. You celebrate your small wins. Now, how do you celebrate your small wins? Acknowledge them, and that will help you with your progress. Just acknowledge, hey, I did that. Remember I talked about the priority list? You have a goal and you have these 5 things that attach to your goal to make it done, and you did one thing a day. Remember that? Okay, that one thing that you did, hey, I did that. Okay, that gives you, it's motivation is what it is. It's motivation. It'll help you go, okay, I did that. So what I got next to do, if I can do that, I can do this. Next thing you know, your goal is met, whatever it is. You understand what I'm saying? So that's how you reward yourself and you celebrate yourself and you talk kind to yourself and about this win. That's one way you do that because, like I said, it's motivation for you to keep going. All right. And then it doesn't seem like the goal is so big and unattainable because you've broken it down and you've already accomplished part 1 of 5 or whatever it is. Okay. And then gratitude journaling. Now, this is also an exercise that I give clients every single day. And again, we're talking about people who are working with their mindset based on their own personal self-worth. Okay. Now, it could be other things too, but this is sort of geared towards people that are thinking about themselves and trying to be better about themselves. So I tell them every day, write down 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for. And I'm not talking about, oh, my kids are healthy. I woke up this morning, I got food. No. I'm talking about get deep. Go really deep. What do they call it? DIW, deep inner work. Go inside and say, what am I grateful for and happy about myself? What am I grateful for? The traits that I have, the attributes that I have about me. What are those 3 to 5 that I have that I'm grateful for? Right? That will definitely focus your mind on positive mindset. That will definitely, and if you do it in the morning, it'll start your day. Okay. Now, this is something I do every once in a while. I don't do it all the time. I should do it more often, but I do it. And it has helped me with my own personal mindset about myself. And it also has helped me with my mindset based on, life and things I need to do and, the business and relationships and everything else like that. Right. This is a very, very good tool to use. This is something that will definitely help you stay out of that anxiety zone. It'll help you stay out of that negative self-talk zone, right? It'll help you with, you'll be able to recognize your triggers easier as well, right? Because you're grateful for these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things about you and what makes you good and what's, about you. That way, when the triggers come, you go, no, I'm grateful for this. So now I understand that this trigger is coming. I understand that this is what triggers me to make me think this way and talk bad about myself and so on and so forth. Right? So this is a very important tool that I learned and that I use not daily. I don't use it daily, but I do use it and I use it quite often. Especially when I'm going through things, I reflect on what are those, what I mean? What are those things that's good about me? And then I can keep myself going. Okay. So that's the whole thing about focus on gratitude. There's a whole bunch of things I can talk to you about gratitude because it's one of my favorite things to talk about. It's kind of sort of how I live my life. Gratitude is your attitude, right? Gratitude is my attitude. So, but that's just a few things, okay, for this particular, where we at? We are at 24 minutes. Okay, we're doing good here. So that's number 3, focusing on the gratitude. Let's go to surrounding yourself with positivity. Obviously, you want to surround yourself with positive people. You want to surround yourself in a positive place, like your house. You know, you want to declutter and get rid of a whole bunch of junk, because you don't want to have a bunch of junk around you, because that doesn't calm the mind, right? That stresses the mind. You're all stressed out because you got a bunch of shit around you, right? So you slow down and you declutter, okay? And then you surround you make sure your space is peaceful, right? Now I don't have a bunch of stuff. I don't have things, like I got clothes pretty much. I'm not a big things guy. I don't have a bunch of it's just not my thing, right? But I have my computer and I have my, stuff with work and things like that. And sometimes it'll be all over the place. Sometimes I have my clothes all over the place and stuff like that. I mean, I'm human. It is what it is. But if you declutter, it'll clear your mind, right? So surround yourself with positivity. That's one thing that's positive. Another thing about positivity is positive people. And of course, you want to be around people that are of like mind, people that are going to motivate you, they're going to inspire you, that are going to check on you, that are going to hold you accountable. Good people that are on the same wavelength, not the people that are negative and always talking shit and have something unnecessary to say. Those aren't the people you want to, because that energy, that frequency doesn't match yours, and it's an imbalance. And then they will be the energy vampires, right? Because you're trying to do good, you're trying to move forward, and they will try to suck that away from you. But also surround yourself with positivity. We'll talk a little bit about this later on down in the do something for yourself. But positivity, surround yourself in positive places, right? People, places, and things, right? Nouns, people, places, and things. Surround yourself with that. And then negative influences, you want to limit those. So let's limit our negative influences. Not just the people around you, the girl at work that's always talking shit, or the dude that's always got something negative to say about somebody. That's, yes, definitely that. But that's not just what I'm talking about. Also, limit negative influences like, social media, the internet, the news. Like, you can limit, and it's hard because it's everywhere, but you can actually limit how much what you take in and what you see and what you want to see, right? I've gotten really good at that. Because before I would just watch stuff, dumb shit, fights and all kind of just crazy stuff, just because it's cool and it's funny. But then when I started working with myself and started working with trying to, be this, coach, this person that I am, I can't allow this negative nothingness to come into my energy, to come into my spirit. I don't even want to, I very much limit when it comes to the internet or social media, because on the social media feed, there's always something dumb, something about Donald Trump or something about some negative thing to happen somewhere. It's always a bunch of negative stuff, or somebody doing something stupid to get attention or whatever, right? So you can limit that. You can, limit the negative energy or the negative influences, and that'll also help your mindset, because your mind will be clearer, right? That it'll be clear of that clutter, right? Because that negativity is heavy and it weighs too much on your brain. So if you limit it, then that'll also help you. Now let's talk about, did I say practice self-compassion? Let's talk about practice self-compassion a little bit. Practicing self-compassion, we talk about being kind to yourself and self-affirmation. So self-affirmation is a tool. How do I use it? Say good things about yourself. Remember the 3 to 5 things we talked about that you're supposed to say to yourself every morning that you're grateful for? Use those as affirmations, right? I am kind. I am whatever, good or decent person. I am, thoughtful. I am, you know what I mean? Use those affirmations, and that will also help you with your mindset. And then be kind to yourself. Now, I said this earlier in another video. When you make a mistake, because you're going to make a mistake, you're human. You can't beat yourself up about it. Now, you own the mistake and you fix it. If it's something that you've done to someone, then you try to work that out if it's possible, because sometimes it's not possible depending on the situation. But then you own that mistake and you say, hey, I fucked up. I made a mistake. This was horrible. I shouldn't have done it. It's affected someone that I care about, or someone I know, or someone I work with, or whatever, in a very bad way. Okay, I am sorry. I know I did it. This was wrong. How can I fix it? Okay? Okay, now you own your mistake, but then you move forward. You don't sit there and waddle in it and wear the pity party and, oh, I'm such a piece of shit and da 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 da. Now that's natural. It does happen. I mean, I've done it myself. I've made mistakes, and then I felt really bad about it and I really, beat myself up about it. People don't know because they don't see it on me. I don't wear it on me, so they may not know or notice it. But I've made mistakes. I've made mistakes with people and done things. Of course, I'm a human being, and it's horrible. Especially if it affects someone you care about, right? But you own it and you say, okay, what can I do? What can I learn from this? What can I not do again? And then what can I do to help fix it with this person, whatever, whatever. But then you're kind to yourself. You give yourself compassion. You say, okay, you give yourself the same compassion you would give a friend. You give the same compassion that you would want to receive, from someone that you've done wrong, right? So you've done somebody wrong and you want them to have you, if possible, you want them to give you compassion. You should give yourself the same compassion, right? I'm not saying be nonchalant about your fuck up. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't care about what you did that was wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I said earlier, own your shit. If you messed up and you own it and you deal with it. But you don't have to waddle in it and you don't have to, sit there and beat yourself up about it all the time. Give yourself compassion, because the only thing that's going to happen from that, nothing negative is going to come from that. The only thing that's going to happen is going to draw your energy down, and it's going to keep you from being focused on your mindset, and it's going to keep you from being focused on working on your self-worth and working on whatever else it is, the goals that you have in your life you're trying to get to. It's only going to keep you and hold you back. It does nothing for you positive at all. So deal with it, work through it, fix it with whoever you fixed it with, and be kind to yourself and move on. So that's practice self-compassion. And it's not always about when you do something wrong either. It could also be, you failed, right? It doesn't necessarily be something you did wrong. It could also be like you have a goal that you're trying to achieve in business or whatever, and you failed. It didn't go well. Okay? Practice self-compassion. Okay, it didn't go well. I failed. So what? What can I learn from my failure? You know what I'm saying? What can I learn from what can I learn? Because a failure is just a lesson, right? That's all it is. It's a lesson. What can I learn from that? What can I do better next time? And then don't beat myself up because I failed. Okay, I failed. So what? Ow, that hurt. Ooh, that stung. Okay, let me get back up, brush myself off, figure out what I can learn from that, and move forward. Practicing self-compassion. Now you can also, I didn't really write, I wrote it down. There's a lot of there's mindfulness and meditation. There's a lot of mindful practices you can do on YouTube, and there's things like that. I suggest meditation. I meditate. That's my thing, in the morning. Sometimes at night before I go to bed, and sometimes in the morning when I get up. It depends on the situation with my work and things that are going on and everything else like that. But I usually try to meditate every day. Now, this past couple of weeks, I've been ill and things been going on. So I kind of sort of fell out of the loop. But meditation is very important to me. This will help your mindset, because if you meditate and you still the mind, okay, things slow down, and it clears your mind from the mental clutter, and it also gives you insight, not necessarily all the time, but it'll help you gain insight on, the goals you're trying to reach, the things you're trying to do. It gives you more insight on yourself. You get more introspective about yourself, and then you really get to see yourself and really get to see how beautiful and wonderful of a human being you really are. When you meditate and you sit still and you focus on gratitude meditation, for example, is one of the things I like to do. Just sit and meditate on the things that I'm grateful for about myself and who I am, and also everything else after that. You know what I mean? And that sort of meditation, just repeating and thinking about those things, that really helps your mindset, and it really helps you focus on, yourself in a very positive light. That will build this self-worth. That will build this self-love that a lot of people, of my clients, are lacking. Okay, so I definitely recommend that meditation. Now, the mindfulness thing is the same sort of, thing, and you can look on YouTube for all of those types of things. All right. Realistic goals, that's also something you can work on in your mindset, breaking the goals down and then rewarding yourself. We talked a little bit about that earlier. I'm not going to talk too much about that because we're 35 minutes and I want to get to these last two things. So practicing physical wellness, okay? Exercise, diet, and sleep. We talk about that all the time. Everybody knows that's important. But one of the things that you can do to practice physical wellness is find something that makes you feel good. For example, my wife, she likes to, well, she's a painter. So she paints. Now that's her business, that she has a business so it's that, but it's also something that helps her, clear her mind and she gets into, and she's a boss, she's awesome at it, but she clears her mind and it's a physical activity. It's not necessarily exercise, but it's still a physical activity. Okay. Myself, I like to walk down by the water, right? I love the water. So I live in Stockholm. There's water everywhere. And my wife and I has a cabin down in Oskarshamn. So, and it sits right on the lake. So I can go out there and just stand by the lake and just walk around in the sand. It's like beach style sand. And I can just walk around right there in the lake or by the lake and look at the swans and the ducks and everything else like that. And that's physical activity. Not necessarily working out, but it's physical activity that makes me feel good. You can walk in the forest, you can take a drive, you can whatever. Find something that helps you feel good, because that will feed the positivity, the positive energy. It'll refill the positive energy that helps you with your mindset. Okay, so that makes sense. Now we're gonna go ahead and run this down and shut this out. It's about 40 minutes, and I don't want to go too much over 40 minutes. Obviously, you want to talk about developing problem-solving skills, addressing root issues and action or your remission. But we'll go into that another time. The one last thing I do want to talk about, though, which I think is important, is obviously you want to shift your environment as well if you can, but limit the comparison syndrome. That's one thing that's very important, especially today in society we live in today. You got the internet, you got social media, you got all these the ads on television and on the subway and all this stuff. You got all this coming at you about this is where you're supposed to be. This is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to look like. This is how you're supposed to dress. If you're a woman, this is what you're supposed to be doing. If you're a man, this is what you're supposed to be doing. You got all this shit coming at you, right? And it's not just the young people on the internet and the TikTok and all of that. It's everybody, people my age. I'll be 55 soon. It's people my age and everybody in between. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Comparison syndrome is only negative. It is never a positive thing to compare yourself. It will never, ever be a positive thing to compare yourself to anybody. Because 9 out of 10 of the times, the person who you're comparing yourself to, they're not even caring. They don't even care. They don't see you. They're doing their thing. They're busy comparing themselves to somebody else or whatever. So you're wasting your energy. You're wasting your time, and you're pulling yourself away from the right mindset of building. Okay? It's just that simple. Listen, this is your journey. It's yours. When you were born, you came into this world by yourself, right? Even if you're a twin, you came into this world by yourself. Right? Your mother gave birth to you by yourself. When you die, you are going to climb down in the box and they're going to put it in the dirt, and you are going to be by yourself. Do you understand? This is your journey. Focus on you. Focus on your journey. Be selfish a bit. Focus on what it is you want and what it is you're trying to do and who it is you're trying to be and how it is you want to show up in this world. Period. I'm not saying don't care about people and be callous and be an asshole or bitch. That's not what I'm saying. But focus on you. It's your journey. When you're driving down the highway, right, or the freeway or the street or whatever, if you keep looking in the other lane, what's going to happen? Exactly. Focus on yourself. Focus on building and becoming the better version of yourself. That is why you watch these webinars, because you want to be a better version of you. You want to show up in the world with a better presentation than the one you did yesterday. Okay? It's just that simple. I know that's easier said than done. Especially like I said, with everything coming at us with the internet and the social media and the news and the media and everything. I know it's hard, but focus on you, okay? Because no one's gonna focus on you for you. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna help you, so you're on your own. That is the conclusion of the Mindset webinar. I want to thank you for watching. I know somebody somewhere got something out of this, so this is what I want you to do. If you got something out of this, if it was a topic that you think I should have covered, if you have a question about a topic that I covered, write it down in the comments, okay? This is YouTube. You can write it down in the comments on YouTube. And when I look at it, if I got time, I will try my best to reply to every comment, depending on how many comments it are, right? So there's that. Thank you very much. So those of you that are interested and want to know more about my coaching, what I do, how much it costs, how long it is, whatever. This is how it works. You get in touch with me. You either email me at levelupcc065@gmail.com, okay? Or you can DM me on Instagram, or you can send me a message on Facebook Messenger, okay? You follow me, so obviously you can DM me, you have access to DM me or, Facebook Messenger. If you're not a member yet to the Level Up group on Facebook, go ahead and join that, okay? And then there's a lot of things that go on in the group that are pretty cool. So if you're interested in coaching, that's what you do. You contact me. We set up a free call, okay? We sit, we talk about it. You tell me what your issues, your goals, your challenges, and whatever else it is you want to work on and what it is you really want to do, okay? I tell you what I do, how I do it, what it costs, how long it is, and everything else like that. And then we see if we're a match. And if we're a match, then we take it from there. All right. So that's how that works as far as my coaching. Yeah. Every Thursday at 7 p.m., if I can do it at 7 p.m., we will have the webinar up. Again, it'll stay up Thursday night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it's Sunday at 7 p.m., gone. And it'll be a new one every week. Okay. So if you have any questions, you have any comments, you have any, like I said, something you didn't hear about that you thought you was going to hear about tonight, feel free to write it down in the comments. All right. It is 42 minutes. It has been 43 minutes. I'm going to stop talking. Thank you very much, you guys, and you take care of yourselves, and I'll talk to you later.